Welcome to the Raven Space Show. It's your boy JG, and I owe an apology to Brandon Stevens. Brandon has been playing excellent, and I'm going to go into why I owe him an apology and what has led to this transformation from him being a bad corner, in my opinion, the last couple of years, to being a great corner. Now, I want to get into a couple of things first. I'm sorry, Brandon. I had him ranked as the fourth most important cornerback coming into the season. However, he has actually been the most important cornerback on the Baltimore Ravens, and he's playing at a high level. And we have to give our praises to him because of everything he's doing. So there are 2 points I want to hit on. The first, I want to show you guys my reasoning for why he is the best cornerback currently on our team. And I don't mean skill-wise. That's, of course, Marlon Humphrey. I mean actual playing, what we see on the field. The first thing is that Brandon Stevens is attacked more than any cornerback in the league, right? Things may have trailed off because, again, Marlon Humphrey went out, so teams might be attacking different players. But when Marlon Humphrey was playing and Marlon Humphrey was healthy, Brandon Stevens was the most attacked corner in the league. Now, this is something that is not new for him. Last year, he was also the most attacked cornerback in the league. Why is that? Because he played terribly, and the Ravens have depth and skill everywhere on the defensive end, especially defensive backfield. So who do you attack? Of course, you attack Brandon Stevens. He has improved mainly based on two reasons. One, just his own improvement. If you look at the games now, Brandon Stevens is what I thought he could be, right? He is a better version right now of Rock Ya-Sin. He's not going to be a player that is going to be like a Marcus Peters. He's going to be a player who's able to take what the offense is going to do, make the play almost every time. The second reason I think that he's improved so much is because the defensive coordinator has also improved so much. Last year, the Ravens had a good defense, for sure, but you kind of felt like it was only based on Roquan Smith, right? Roquan Smith came in there and added a presence that was hard to game plan for offenses at such late in the year. However, we're seeing something now that I think is great. Increased pass rush, basically based on scheme. Of course, we have some players like Jadeveon Clowney who are really operating at a high level, but I think it's mostly based on scheme. So increased pass rush and also an increased awareness of the best offensive player. Last year, I can give you several examples of games Ravens lost because for some reason you had players who were not ready to play guarding offensive players who were excellent. We talk about Miami when Tyreek Hill went off because for some reason we wanted to put Marcus Peters, who just came back from an injury, on him one-on-one. Now, there was a blown coverage on a different touchdown, but I'm just talking about that one touchdown. Same thing we have with a player like Chase and the Bengals. He, for some reason, was getting one-on-one matchups with Brandon Stevens all the time. We don't see that much anymore. We know who the best player is, and the reason that the best player on these other teams aren't really having big games is because of the way that the Ravens are scheming the defense. There's always help nearby, either help from the inside, coming from the inside linebacker positions, and we have some of the best movement inside linebackers probably to ever suit up, right? Again, Patrick Queen's best ability is his ability to get to places quickly. That's his best thing. And we see that all the time, and we know what Roquan Smith is. Then you also have help over the top. We have the three probably most impactful safeties in the game when it comes to Marcus Williams, who is just the prototypical safety that you see when you think of a safety. That's who he is, and he's the best at doing that. We have Geno Stone, which is a good in-between. He's really good at playing that prototypical safety, but he's also really good at coming up and making tackles. And then we have Kyle Hamilton, who, in my opinion, right now, may be the best safety in the NFL, not because he's greater than Marcus Williams or any other safety at one particular thing, but he's just so good at everything. It's amazing, and we saw they put on a masterclass. So I think those two things, Brandon Stevens, his improvement just by himself, no defensive coordinator help, just his improvement. If you look at the way he plays now, he doesn't get beat like he used to. You could guarantee on 3rd and 7, there's going to be a catch on a curl route, for 8 yards at Brandon Stevens because he was so afraid to be getting beat deep because he just doesn't have that high level skill. However, something has changed. He's not afraid now to play that bump and run and stick with that receiver. And if he gets beat deep, maybe he feels I had the safeties over top. Maybe he just feels, hey, I'm good enough. Amazing things from Brandon. So I want to show you guys a couple of things on Pro Football Focus. So that is what we are going to do. You guys can see here on Pro Football Focus, I wanted to pull some things out for you. If we go here, we see that Brandon Stephens is the 26th best corner in the NFL, which is amazing. It's amazing for a couple of reasons. The first reason I think it's amazing is because of the depth of the cornerback position who get to play. Other positions, let's just say, for example, quarterback, may have a lot of depth, but only one quarterback can play. At corner, you have at least 3 on every team, right, that will get significant time, right? Left, right, slot. So that's 90, right? 96 to be exact. Then with the dime packages, and sometimes even quarter, but usually dime, which a lot of teams play a big dime, including the Ravens. Kyle Hamilton happens to be our dime, but other teams use corners for their dimes, right? So let's just say you add another 10 more, right? I'm just making that number up. Well, now you have over 120, you see, at 120 get rings. He's 26. That's great for him, right? He's outranking Marlon Humphrey, Arthur Millette, even though I think Arthur Millette is playing really well, and everybody else that we have. Rocket Sin doesn't even have enough to register, and he was the big pickup this offseason. Brandon Stephens is playing excellent. Now, let's talk about Brandon Stephens and how he's playing compared to himself. The last 2 years, guys, 53 and 52, right? And again, just if you guys don't know about Pro Football Focus, we're breaking it down for you guys. The colors are indicative of different things, right? Blue is like God's here, best performances in the league. If we come back here, we can, of course, see Geno Stone, who leads the NFL interceptions, has a blue 89. Kyle Hamilton, that can do everything, especially get in the backfield, has a blue 93, stuff like that, right? And you can see green means good, really good. A 71 in school is a C, but here a 71 is like a B. A is anything that's blue. In the orange is average, right? And then you get red and you're like terrible. And so he's jumped 20 PFF points since last year. He went from the 107th best cornerback to the 26th best cornerback. Amazing for him. He is playing at such a high level, and I owe him an apology. He's really played that well, and I've been impressed. Last thing I want to tell you guys about here, the Ravens defense ranks number 3 in passing yards. Ravens defense ranks number 3 in passing yards. And why did I want to show you guys that? There are 2 reasons I really, really wanted to show that, right? Reason number 1, and the most important thing, is that it takes everyone playing at least a good level to be a top 5 in anything, especially in passing yards in this league, right? Where they pass the ball a lot. So, and in the AFC where there's so many great passers, right? The second worst passer in our own division is Deshaun Watson, and he was an MVP candidate a couple years ago. He's the highest paid player based on guarantees ever. That's how talented this division and this league is and this conference is. If I asked you and you had to do an honest thought experiment on who is the most important position in regards to pass defense, there's only 2 options. 1, corner. 2, pass rusher. Outside, probably, right? Again, some teams have great inside pass rushers, but you have to affect the quarterback, and when the quarterback throws, you got to be there to stop the pass, right? Okay, so if we're taking those 2, right, that eliminates a lot of players, right? The only players that I think when it comes to pass defense that you can consider, if I said pick a player who was most important to our pass defense, you would say Roquan because he's just so good, he affects everything and has the highest cover score on our team. You would say Jadeveon Clowney because he is the best pass rusher and most consistent pass rusher. You would say Kyle Hamilton because even though he's a safety, he plays in so many different positions and does so many different things. And then you have to pick a corner, and who do you pick, right? Marlon Humphrey ain't been playing games. Arthur Millette is new and is really good at adding pressure, but is not a super coverage corner. He's actually being picked on more and more as Brandon is getting better and better. You have to say Brandon. And if you want to make him number 4, okay, I'm fine with that. But to say that he's the 4th most important person on our defense in terms of pass defense blows my mind. It's just a great look. Again, you could say Geno Stone, right? And so I'm not, if you want to say top 5 for Brandon, right? In my opinion, no one else has been here consistently enough or has made an impact enough. You could say Madubuike, but I think a lot of Madubuike's sacks are a result of everyone doing the work together. And Brandon Stephens, top 5 most important players on the pass defense. Wow. That's amazing for him and where he's been. So you guys let me know in the comments below what you think. Subscribe, like. Thank you guys for watching the Ravens Space Show. I appreciate it. Go Ravens.